Let's do a quick audio test. Let's do a quick audio test here. Okay, it does work. Slight problem, I don't seem to be seeing my chat. I mean, I'm not sure I have any viewers at all to begin with. Oh, I do have one viewer, okay. Yeah, I can't really view my chat, though. Is that... If I click on it on a different, at least not in the live control room, I can't view it. Which is weird. Oops, that's me replaying a Technoblade video. Oh, I forgot to turn on my desktop audio, so I don't actually... You didn't even hear that to begin with. Well, if I hadn't mentioned it, you know? Okay, I can just click on my live stream as it... For watching? For?
That's
really? Okay, YouTube. Hello, no bunny. YouTube is apparently bullshitting me because in the live control room it says 1 concurrent viewer. Oh no, now it says 3. Okay, but it said 3 on the actual page. Well, I can read my chat on the actual page. It's just I can't do it in the live control room, which is annoying. Unless I'm on the wrong spot. I don't think so. Let me actually just reload. Let me reload and see if that fixes it. Oh, yeah, now I can do it in live control room. Okay, we're good. Everyone's all right with the, let me just do an audio test again. Let me reload and see if that fixes it. Okay, everyone's all right being able to hear me, I guess, and see everything. I haven't face cammed for like a while, but my hair is considerably curlier than it was last time, and I think that's worthy of being shown on camera. And of course, my frame rate is completely murdering itself while being streamed. See, here's the thing. I mentioned in my community post that I was going to show off my improved Bed Wars skills, but that only goes so far. I can't do well while my frame rate is, you know, shitting itself like this. I mean, that just becomes, you know, a slight issue. Okay, it doesn't seem to be as bad now. It says YouTube is not... Hello, Orwolf, by the way. It says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Viewers will experience buffering. I don't know how to deal with that, but hopefully it's not too bad. I don't plan on streaming for too long. I just plan on streaming for long enough to explain everything that's going on. And I'll edit this video down into a proper, you know, explanation. And then I'll upload that maybe... I want to get it out by the beginning of May. I don't know what specific day. Hopefully the 1st of May, but I could do like the 3rd or the 5th. Like, I don't have a lot of places to be in the near future, so I guess there's a lot of flexibility on my end. I want to see if I can wait for like a few people to come in. This doesn't explicitly have to be like an Ask Me Questions stream. It can be. If you have questions about what's going on in the future, then ask them. But I'm still going to like explain the basics of everything as well as I can, regardless of what regardless of what gets asked. So like, it's not like you're gonna dodge out on information if you don't ask me questions. 1 FPS PoseidonHeir, that's true. It's true. It's sad, but true. What even is my frame rate? It's like 30... Yeah, it's not good. It's like less than 40 frames. It's pretty bad. Maybe if I close some of my extra stuff. How many viewers do I have now? Only 1. Wow, I've fallen off. Oh, 5. Okay. I've returned. I've returned to glory. Incredible stuff. I'm gonna close everything I don't immediately need open. And see if that actually improves my frame. I do not think it has whatsoever. Oh, never mind. No, it has. It has. My frame rate's now between 40 and 50, which is still not ideal. But whatever. It's better than what it was. Orwolf says, okay. Top fans. Orwolf is apparently my top fan. I don't know what that means, because I have not streamed in a while, but... hold on a sec. Okay, so I think the stream will last maximum an hour. Probably not even that. I don't want to be streaming super late. I'll probably play like a couple games of Bed Wars while I explain everything. And then I'm going to be done. I do have somewhere else I need to be later today, so... like, I'm sorry. I know. I said that I didn't have anywhere to be in the near future, but I meant, like, in terms of days, not in terms of hours. I'm sorry. YouTuber caught lying. Many such cases. Immediately got boosted in viewers. The stream itself is frozen? Is it? That's weird. Okay. The stream is according to William, the stream is frozen. Okay. Okay, that's not good. Let me reload. Is it just buffering or... Oh, it's like a PowerPoint. Okay. Sorry, do you guys mean that, the game footage is, like, weirdly chopped? I'm a bit confused at what you guys are getting at, because... Okay, William says the stream is frozen, but then Josh says it's like a PowerPoint. So, do you mean that, like, it's, like, getting stuck on, like, specific frames? Like, you're hearing my voice, and you're technically seeing the stream go by. It's just the footage is all chopped and whatnot. Because that's what I'm thinking it is. OBS does that to me sometimes. If that is the problem, I'm going to try... I do have a solution. I guess I have to just lower the bitrate, maybe? Or change the encoder? You know what? I can check this myself. Is it just the... Yeah, no, I went back in the, It's, like, stuck. Yeah. I went back and I saw it myself. It is doing that. Okay. Yeah, OBS does this bullshit a lot. My computer is not very good. What the... Why is it going up to 10,000 kilobytes per second? I do not need to do that. Okay, hold on. Okay, what if I take it down to, like, 2,500 or something like that? Okay, my bitrate has been lowered. Does that improve it at all? I mean, the footage, the quality will be worse. It'll be grainier, but it might move, which is, you know, preferred. As far as I can tell, it's still frozen. The footage is getting stuck. Including my webcam. Okay. That... I don't think I fixed it, even by lowering the bitrate. For some reason, the kilobytes per second is still going all the way up to 10,000. That makes no sense. I don't know why it's doing that. It should not be, because I have not set the kilobytes per second to be able to go that high. Okay, I have rebooted the stream. I haven't actually changed anything, but I have rebooted it. Does it not, like, violently kill itself now? Does it not? Does it look okay now? I think it does. Oh, William's in the call, or not in the call, but he's in the lobby with me. It still seems laggy from what I'm seeing, but it's not, like, atrocious. Okay. Yep, it is still choppy. I mean, after a point, my laptop has just become genuinely terrible at recording or streaming literally anything. It's, like, really bad. I'll probably have to get it replaced at some point. The audio isn't bugging out, which is good. Yeah. Very true. That is just frustrating. I can't even lie. I may have to lower the bitrate even more for this to be doable. Excuse me 1 second. Okay, I am back. I have brought this stream quality down. I have literally brought this stream quality down to 1,500 kilobytes per second. 1,500. If this does not allow it to run without being choppy, I do not know what will. Because that would be ridiculous. It still looks like it's slightly choppy. I don't know if this is my internet or what. It's just... Okay, why either your laptop or your internet is like this. I don't... Yeah, it's not looking like there's really anything I can do here. Because I've lowered it to a point where, like... I think the stream is technically at least watchable, but it's not good. Hello, Pro Ninja. What's up? Well, I'm struggling to even get the stream to work. That's what's up. Which is not new for me. This is like a common occurrence, but I do not actually have all the time in the world, so okay. Yeah, it just doesn't... Yeah, this just does not look good. I may not be able to actually do Bed Wars. Love you, bro. I love you too. I love you too. Not parasocially. Might just have to deal with the lag as of now. Well, I have to edit this down into a video later, so I need the footage to look somewhat decent. That's kind of the problem. I can't just, like, like, if I wasn't editing this down later, I wouldn't care. But... I mean, the only way I could make that work is if I just extracted the audio directly from the stream and then edited that down and overlaid it onto, like, pre-existing footage that wasn't terrible. I guess I could do that. It's annoying amount of effort that I shouldn't have to do, but whatever. My laptop is ass. Whatever, it's complete buns. Stream disconnected for a second. Yeah, it's been doing that. It's a whole load of annoying problems. I don't know. If I can't get this to look decent, I might not even do Bed Wars. I might just straight up just do it. Because I want to know, if I get rid of the game capture, how does the footage... How does the camera footage look? Does it, like, look okay? I like your videos. Keep going. Thank you. I believe that's Rugion Bastadas 9532. Thank you for the compliment. Bro, why you stopped? I did not stop streaming. I assume that this is just YouTube being a little shit, because I did not stop streaming at all. Footage stays the same, even without... The footage stays the same even without the Minecraft? That's insane. Okay. Okay. Why is stream title final stream? Okay, the camera got better? No, the camera looks fine now. Okay, I am going to reboot the stream one more time. I'm going to put the frame rate, or the kilobytes per second, up to 5,000 and see if it just works with my camera, and that's it. Why is stream title final stream? Pro Ninja, that is because I am ceasing uploading any content on this channel. I'm going to be using different channels moving forward, mainly because the monetization and the analytics of this channel are a complete nightmare, and are completely unworkable because of how inconsistent the content has been. Anyway, I'm going to reboot the stream real quick. And hello. Is this good? Let me go to 1080p. Okay, that seems to be better now. Yeah, okay. We pray for no more PowerPoint. Okay, well, I don't think I'm going to be doing any high pixels. So let me just take that out of the title, actually, because apparently I cannot record it in a way that works. It's completely unworkable. Which is fine, by the way. I guess that means I can end the stream sooner. I just need to do the little Q&A. Just go to stream settings. Oh, I should probably specify this for people coming in, because people might have gotten a little bit worried by the title. Final stream on the PoseidonHeir channel. Let's put that there. And then rename it as Goodbye plus Q&A. Okay. I think we're good. So everyone can still hear me, and everyone can see me. So let me explain the situation. For those of you who did not read my community post just like a few days ago now, I can take off these headphones, actually, since I'm not playing. So for those of you who did not see my community post, I put out a community post a few days ago about how I am going to be seizing content on this channel, and I'm going to be moving to different channels for the future. And I'm going to be leaving this channel up as an archive of all my old content. And I did explain the basics of what I was going to do in that post, but I want to get a little bit more in depth here. Not like too in depth, because a lot of this stuff is still like very much in progress. It's yet to be finalized. But I do want to explain a bit more here, and I wanted to give like a bit of a floor for people to ask questions about like what's going where in terms of content. Because content has never been like truly consistent on this channel in terms of videos, anyway. So, thank you very much. Yes, I agree. It does look a lot better, Orwolf. It does. So, the basics are, I'm going to be migrating exclusively to the channel named Noah J Sweet. That is at Noah J Sweet. J spelled like J and Blue Jay, for example. You can find that channel, I believe, by navigating to my recommended channels on my home tab on here. That's for my high production value content, my high production value videos. Now, what those are, that's still something I can't really reveal, as far as I do have plans for them. I have some interesting projects in the works that I am really excited for, but I don't want to get too specific about that. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys are able to see this properly and that it looks decent. So, yeah, the Noah J Sweet channel is where you're gonna find all of the good, like highly produced stuff. And the Noah J Sour channel, on the other hand, I can actually push this back a little bit. The Noah J Sour channel, on the other hand, that is the at Noah J Sour, same spelling of J. That's where you're gonna find the backup content, as you will, like where some YouTubers would put up their React content. Actually, I shouldn't say React content. That's kind of like too specific for what I'm going to be doing. Just like the more low-key stuff. Like if you have like a funny clip you want to make out of like a hangout with your friends, it goes on the secondary channel. You have like a gaming video, for example, where you're just hanging out with a friend or two, that goes on the second channel. That's kind of what I want Noah J Sour to be. Or it's like kind of like low production value commentary. Not like commentary on like drama or anything, because I'm never going to be a drama channel. I don't really like that sphere whatsoever. But like my own little musings, I guess, and thoughts about things like writing, like movies, maybe. I haven't really truly decided, just like random opinions, even. Because that stuff can be fun. There's YouTubers who make like an entire living out of just posting their thoughts online without even really editing them too much. It's actually amazing. Like, I mean, Moist Critical made it work. So, I mean, he's got a very distinctive voice and a very distinctive attitude, but who knows? I want to develop that for myself too. So we'll see how it goes. So, high production value videos will be on the Noah J Sweet channel. Secondary videos, more like low production value, but like still fun, that goes on Noah J Sour. This channel will be left as an archive. I won't make any new videos or streams or even posts on it, but I will leave everything up for the most part. There are going to be some exceptions that are more complicated, but almost every video that I've ever made is going to stay up as like an archive so that people can still watch it. Because at the end of the day, like, I have a lot of like different feelings about the videos I used to create like years and years ago. I have so many conflicting feelings about those, but they are still my art, and I do firmly believe art should be accessible to everyone, to a reasonable extent anyway. So I want to leave up everything for everyone to see. So if you are, I doubt it, I doubt many of you are, but if you are like a fan who has stuck around since the wee years of my channel, back in like 2018, 2017 even, like 2019, even on like the later end, if you've stuck around that long, I think it's only fair that you continue to be able to enjoy my content, if it was nostalgic, especially, because a lot of people, because it's crazy to think about this, but like tens of thousands of people did watch some of my older videos. Some of my older videos have well over like 100,000 views. So there's like a non-zero percentage of the population who could unironically say that my YouTube channel was nostalgic for them, which is wild to think about, but true. I don't want to take that away from anyone. And even if you've only like been into like the newer stuff, then I also don't want to take that away from you. The only exceptions are, and this is the only things I'm actually going to straight up delete, and I already have deleted them, are a history of community posts, because community posts are not really videos per se. They're like, I mean, sometimes you can express your thoughts in them, and I do, but a lot of the time they're just like for commenting on situations like on the spot when that needs to be done quickly. And that stuff can usually be deleted after a time. And they're also for like, they're usually for like providing like updates on content and whatnot. Or if not that, updates on like surrounding situations. And like, I'm fine with deleting many of my community posts specifically for the sake of navigation. I deleted a lot of mine so that people could navigate and see only content updates for like the last 2 years, because I had like a history of like community posts that I'll miss this channel, but I'll still watch it. Yeah, well, you know what? You can still go to my new channels, and I'm still going to be there. So I'm not like quitting YouTube or anything. I feel like I should make that clear. I'm just moving to a new channel where like the analytics and monetization aren't like completely destroyed. Because like if you've done YouTube as long as I have, you kind of you do realize that like if you've had a channel for years and years and your views are completely inconsistent and you haven't had like any standards for what you upload there whatsoever, and if if half of your content, especially your old content, is also like copyright music infested, like, and that like screws with monetization, like it comes to a point where you realize you kind of have to start over if you want to make any actual progress, in terms of growth, that is. Because like I've never really been in this specifically for the money. The growth is nice because I get to build a community, and that's kind of what I'm really there for, with the money just kind of being like a means to an end. But none of that is possible if you have a channel that is as stagnated as this one and continue to keep trying to post content on it. And this isn't really like a new conclusion. I reached this conclusion like 2 years ago, or even more than that. Like, because that was when I made my new channel, the Noah J. Sweet channel. And so it's not like I've just realized this. It's more like an extension of what I've already realized. Because originally what I wanted to do with this channel was make it the secondary channel. But the secondary channel should still ideally have growth. The secondary channel, like what I'm saying Noah J. Sauer is now. But the secondary channel should still have growth. It should still be sustainable. And this is not that. And then after that, when I tried to shift toward acronym, that I also thought might work, because I was just going to put on like super unedited like podcasts and stuff and just dump them there. And that worked for a time, but the podcasts also don't get a lot of traction, and not a lot of people get to see them. Which is a shame, because I really like the podcasts and I think they're really funny, but like, they're on a channel where watching them is just not intuitive because of the sheer mix of content that's already there. Like the long-term viewers have not really been, we're not really there for podcasts, and thus YouTube is probably not going to recommend podcasts from the same channel to them. Like YouTube generally recommends like, generally speaking, when you have a channel, YouTube is going to recommend like the same content from that channel to people who keep watching that channel, right? They're not going to like, if the channel radically changes its content on a whim, then yeah, YouTube might originally still recommend it, but then as time goes on and on, like if there's not really an easing in, YouTube will kind of drop them in the algorithm. And once again, podcasts can be professionally created too, like stuff like the Sweet Space or Among Us lore read-alouds, for example, which are like the main core podcasts, I guess, that I've been uploading here. Like, those can also be professionally made, and they can be professionally, like, output for, like, you know, monetization purposes as well. Not that, again, not like that's, like, the main goal. It's just, I could be editing the podcast and making them a better listening experience, and they could theoretically be getting more views. But that would have to be on a different channel, not this one. Because again, the analytics and the monetization are just screwy. And that's really the long and short of it. So, yeah. That's just kind of like a long side tangent. Yeah, the important thing to mention is, acronym was originally meant to be. Acronym, of course, was originally meant to be the channel for a creative group that I'm part of. Basically, just me and a bunch of my friends. We are working on the Jonathan Crisis novel series together, for example. And some other friends who aren't involved in that, but are also just involved with me creatively. Like, Acronym was supposed to be like a group project where we would upload our content and upload our series and like visual, like web series and stuff, like stories like that. And I've decided to revamp that because I've made 2 new channels, QuilliPop and QuilliPods. And QuilliPop is meant to be a play on words. It's combining lollipop with a writer's quill. And also the pop is capitalized because we're popping off. It's genius, I know. I'm exceptional with wordplay. Yeah, no, I know you guys want to pat me on the back for that one, but yeah, QuilliPop. The difference between Acronym and QuilliPop, the reason why I say it's an overhaul and not just a rename, is because Acronym was specifically supposed to be me and the group of people I'm talking about, people who I'm already friends with. So that would be like people like Grader of A's who've shown up on this channel before, Lobato, for example, maybe American Elephant. Thank you, Aura for telling me how clever I am. After I immediately told myself that too. I appreciate it greatly. It's a massive ego boost. Anyway, yeah, people like that would originally have been the ones associated with Acronym, and that's still going to be true with QuilliPop, as long as they're all like on board with it. Of course, I'm not going to force anyone. That's still going to be true of QuilliPop, but I also want to branch out and connect with new creatives, both like living nearby me in real life, in like the Greater Toronto area, for example. Or perhaps just like online, which is where I've met the majority of my creative like partners and friends so far. I want to be able to branch out and get in touch with more people because connections are really everything in the creative world. You, like 9 times out of 10, you are not even going to break into the industry at all if you do not have the right person in your connections. And I am very lucky because I do have a considerable amount of talented people in my connections. And that includes people who also have, like, good connections with other people. But side tangent aside, QuilliPop is essentially going to be primarily managed by me so far, as I set it up. I don't want that to necessarily be the case eventually. My end goal with QuilliPop is that it's not just a creative hub and, like, a YouTube channel group where we just, like, make makeshift web series. I do want to eventually produce, like, actual, like, shows and stories and, like, well, obviously, like, even a web series is an actual story. I'm just, like, professionally made shows, professionally made movies, professionally made graphic novels and comics and maybe even books. I mean, I'm going to be publishing books, hopefully, and maybe that could be involved with QuilliPop somewhat. Yeah, but I don't want to make it like a traditional company because I'm not a fan of traditional business models at all. I would like to make it a cooperative if I can. And of course, you can throw egg on my face later if this does not turn out to work because I am not currently well educated on the logistics of how any of this stuff works. But a cooperative, like, to put it simply, a cooperative is a business where the employees own, like, the business itself. If you are an employee, you are a stakeholder. You are a member or a shareholder. Maybe that's the term. If you are a worker, you are part of the people who manage it. Maybe you're not a director. Maybe you don't actually, like, manage the goings on at the company, but you all profit from the company directly. The company's success is, like, you have a share of that. And you have a say in how it's run, like one member, one vote. Like, you actually get to determine, like, I'm pretty sure in a co-op as well, you're actually able to determine who is in charge. At least, you know, by voting in the board of directors. There are a lot of like things that go into this and a lot of like complexities. Obviously every co-op can be managed differently. I'm just saying, I want QuilliPop to be more like that. I don't want to be a traditional business model with venture capital. I don't want to get like investors who like don't understand the point of what we're doing and just try to make it into like some greedy, like penny pinching, like wealth extracting, like fucking mess with like unwanted features that like so many social media platforms and like services have become in recent years. That's a whole rant for another day. Like everyone probably can point to like one or two things that are annoying in this regard. Fucking YouTube itself, even though I'm using it as a means to an end, is nightmarish with this stuff, with the unwanted features, AI integration, like the venture capital and shareholder stuff over actual like user, like over actually appealing to users. It's a whole mess. And I want to create I want to create like a part in the creative industry, like at least an offshoot of it where that's not so much true, where people can actually express themselves and find support in a creative community that isn't like dominated by like predominantly capitalist shareholder interest. But that is all so much for the future. I don't know if we can actually feasibly make it that. For now, QuilliPop is not an actual company. It's not a co-op or otherwise. It's just a group. It's just a YouTube channel where we're going to put our makeshift web series. And it's not going to be super high production value. None of my content's going to be super high production value. I just mean like higher. When I say that Noah J Sweet will have higher production quality, I mean higher than Noah J Sour. It's all relative. Higher than the stuff I've been putting here for years, basically. Like, it'll have slightly more editing. It'll have slightly better, I guess, color correction and lighting, maybe. I don't know if I'm really equipped to deal with all that. I know friends who are more experienced than with that stuff than I am. I know friends who are way more experienced in that stuff than me. So, but yeah, point is, QuilliPop, it's not going to be a company right off the bat. It's just going to be a little creative group on YouTube where we make our makeshift web series and we put them out. And we do podcasts too. And podcasts, this is a major point that I explicitly wanted to note. QuilliPods is going to be the podcast channel. It's going to be basically QuilliPop's secondary channel. And what that means is all of the podcasts that we make here, like the Sweet Space or Among Us lore, that's all going to be moved to QuilliPods from now on. And it's actually going to be re-uploaded there in better edited form. So I'm going to take the old streams of Among Us lore and of the Sweet Space that already exist on this channel. I am going to edit them, maybe to remove like unwanted bits, like if the podcast host, like, if we want to cut like a bunch of like, I'm going to get rid of like a bunch of like unnecessary like extended silence, for example, like stuff like that. Maybe more of the like the more awkward chunks, as well as, with Among Us lore, I want to add like copyright free music on top of it to make it more immersive for like when people want to listen to it on the QuilliPods channel. I want to make it something that people will actually enjoy listening to besides me. I've always enjoyed re-listening to my podcasts, but I can't lie, they're not like appealing to like anyone generally watching podcasts on YouTube because there's just no like real effort put into the editing. They're just kind of like recorded and then they're done. And I would like that to change. So as I said, what we're going to be doing is I am going to be taking Among Us lore and taking the Sweet Space. I'm going to be editing all the episodes, and then I'm going to re-upload them on the QuilliPods channel. And after each episode is re-uploaded, I am going to unlist, not delete, I'm going to unlist the originals on here. That being said, because once again, I believe in the preservation of art, I just don't want there to be two like versions of the same like podcast episode up on YouTube where one of them is just worse, right? Or at least it's not as edited down. What I want to do is I'm going to unlist all of the originals once the new ones come out. And this is like specifically respectively for each one. So like I'm not going to unlist all of them and then slowly release each episode. I'm going to unlist the originals as the new ones come out one by one. to make it as fair as possible. And I will provide the original links to the original podcast episodes, all in the descriptions of the new one, of the new ones. And of course, let me just make that clear. The descriptions of the new podcast episodes will contain the unlisted links to the originals. So you will always be able to go back to them. If you prefer the original for whatever reason, sometimes people will think that's more authentic. Sometimes I might even think that. That is completely fine. And if there is background music, or not music, if there's background noise, that's because there is an NBA game going on downstairs, and my family are huge Raptors heads. I apologize for that. That's not relevant to the topic at hand, but I just thought I would note it. I would note that in case anyone's been picking up on it. So, let me see. Are anyone still watching? 3 concurrent viewers. Cool. So, there are a couple more details I want to make clear about. Like how Among Us lore and the Sweet Space are going to be handled on QuilliPods. QuilliPods. So, what I want to do there is, I want to upload podcasts in seasonal batches where, like, there's a specific time frame for, like, a season of podcast episodes to come out. But then they come out, like, weekly in that time frame. So what I'm going to do with the Sweet Space as the main example, because, you know, that's kind of the most notable podcast we've been doing. Among Us lore is kind of an unofficial podcast, but the Sweet Space is, like, the most official one, so let's just go with that. The Sweet Space, let's say all 13 episodes of the Sweet Space so far are, like, Season 1 of the Sweet Space. I did say that, like, Season 2 is, like, 11 and after, but I can easily just change that, because, like, you know, whatever I say goes. I made the podcast. Let's just say that the 13 episodes so far are just Season 1, right? I'm going to upload Season 1 in, like, a seasonal batch from, like, let's say I start at May 20. May 20, and then every week after that, the same day on each week, 7 days after, each episode comes out until we get to the end of the 13, and then that ends the seasonal drop. And then some time passes, and then the next season will drop. And in the time I'm, like, re-uploading and editing down all of the old videos, all the old podcast episodes, hopefully I can record some of the new ones for the dropping of Season 2. And that's all for the future. The later updates for that are going to be on the QuilliPods channel, not here. But that's kind of like how I plan to do it. And I do want to, and I did not just throw out May 20 specifically as, like, a random throwaway date. I did kind of for that, like, sentence, but I do actually have May 20 planned as the debut date for the new form, the edited form of the Sweet Space podcast. The whole reason it's called the Sweet Space, besides the fact that my name is Noah Sweet, the whole reason it's called that, it's like a play on words, once again. You're free to call me clever if you want. It's a play on words of the fact that my name is Noah Sweet, but also it is in the middle of, like, the range of time it's in, which is a confusing way to word that. But basically what I mean by that is, if, we're using months as reference points, usually it's in the midpoint of the month it comes out, because I was releasing these episodes monthly. So it would be either the 15th or the 16th, depending on how many days are in the month. It's not a perfect system, because in, like, 31-day months, you could argue that the 15th and the 16th are both, like, the midpoint. Or you could argue neither of them are. I think that would be closer to the actual truth. But, like, there's not much you can really do about that. However, you could also make the case that, like, the Sweet Space could be reframed so that the play on words is, again, my name, plus the fact that it is in the Sweet Space of the week, the central day of the week. And that would be Wednesday. Now, I And currently it is actually Wednesday right now, funnily enough. Now, I need some time to get this all set up, but let's say in 3 weeks, it will be May 20th. That would be Wednesday, May the 20th. And that's a nice little day, right? Like, it just kind of like flies off the tongue well. It's, it's the 20th. It's this nice, solid, even number that's like very sleek, it's not like in between something like 20 and 25. It is exactly 20. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a nice sounding number. So let's just say I take the next few weeks to get all this in order, and then May 20th, I cannot guarantee this for sure because anything could come up, and future updates are going to be on the QuilliPods channel once again. I cannot guarantee this for sure at all, but I am hoping to get the first edited video for the Sweet Space podcast on QuilliPods out on Wednesday the 20th, May. And that would mean, after that, every week, so with like 7-day intervals, every next Wednesday, the next episode will come out of that season, Then there would be a seasonal break, and then after that, I would focus on how to get out the next season. Now, as for Among Us lore, I don't know what I'm going to do with Among Us lore date-wise. That obviously is... I also plan to release that in seasonal batches, or maybe I won't. Maybe I will release that more irregularly, because that depends on like more specific circumstances. I would have to talk to both A and LBP about that, the two guests I normally have on that podcast. I mean, I'm calling it a podcast. Once again, it's a bit weird because I've never really officially done that. But you could argue it definitely is. So that being said, yeah, I definitely think I'll have to talk to them about like how I'm going to approach Among Us lore on QuilliPods. But yeah, there are plans forming for that. I don't know if I have anything specific that I want to add on to this. Like, I don't know. That's kind of everything I have planned at the moment. The gist is I want to move to personal content on the Noah J. Sweden, Noah J. Sour channels, and then group creative content on QuilliPop and QuilliPods. I can't tell you much about the actual web series that we do have in the works for QuilliPop because I kind of want to let that come out as it comes out without like giving away too many hints. But there are definitely plans for like web series and stuff. Podcasts I'm more fine with sharing, especially Sweet Space, because that's kind of just like me doing most of it. I mean, Andrew P. will say that he owns the podcast, but between you and I, me and everyone here, he does not own that podcast. He's making that up. And he's very, very, very uncouth for doing so. You look like Tommy Innit. I would have considered that an insult when I was younger, but that's actually a compliment. Tommy Innit's a cool dude. Thank you for your input. So, that's kind of about it. I don't know if I have anything else to add in terms of, like, plans. It's kind of it goes without saying, by the way, and I will link these in the chat. I assume that these work. No, they don't. Okay, that's bullshit. Okay, let me put them in the description. New channels. Personal. I want to put all the new channels I'm going to in my description so that people can actually find them from this stream and don't have to manually look them up. I mean, you probably should. It's a good skill to develop, but just in case. Personal, and then QuilliPop. It is important to note, and this is quite annoying, because YouTube does like a 14-day cooldown period on changing usernames, because I had made a mistake with changing the usernames. Technically, the account handle... Sorry, not usernames. I meant to say handles. technically the handle for QuilliPop is not QuilliPop. It is QuilliPop with one capital I, so that it looks as close as possible, even though it's not that. I would make it the actual thing, but I had to change another channel away from being that, because I originally tried to make QuilliPop from a previous channel, and then I realized that making a new one would be better. But I had already named that channel QuilliPop, so then I had to name it something else, and now I have to wait the 14 days before it becomes available again. So, I mean, I guess if someone is particularly evil, they can snag it at some point. But I don't know if they're going to remember to do that on, like, a stream with 5 people. Would be incredibly funny. I would have to change the entire naming scheme. I would have to, like, change it to, like, QuilliPop Productions and QuilliPods Productions, even though that sounds like shit. So, I mean, it's a really evil thing that, like, someone could pull on me if they wanted to. But yeah, for clarification's purposes, I have now edited them into the description, so you can now find all the channels. I will have to retroactively edit them again once I fix the QuilliPop thing, but, yeah. So, now that I've done all that, I'm going to ask if anyone has questions, if anyone has thoughts they want to share. If I don't really get a lot of activity in the chat, I'm probably just going to end the stream, because I don't have anything else to add. We've been... Well, with that, I hope to see more from you from these new channels and wish you the best. Thank you very much, Orwolf. I really appreciate that. Like I said, we have been streaming for roughly 10... Not 10 hours, what? Okay, 1 hour. Now, 10 hours would be a bit crazy. Guys, I need 10 hours to explain my new channel plans. Mr. Dark Titan says, I just came. What's going on? Okay, so you're going to want to watch the stream back because I'm going to end it soon. But let's just do a quick TLDR. I'm going to be leaving this channel, not YouTube. I'm going to be leaving this channel because it has very poor analytics, very poor monetization. It's not sustainable. So I'm moving to new channels that you can find in the description. I am moving to the Noah J. Sweet channel for my main videos. For my secondary videos, Noah J. Sour, you can find these in the description. I also have a makeshift kind of creative YouTube channel where I'm like making web series and podcasts with my friends called QuilliPop, and you can find that in the description. And then a podcast channel will also be available for that you can find in the description called QuilliPods. And that's where I'm going to be moving my podcast content that I have, up until now, been uploading here. And that includes the Sweet Space podcast, as well as Among Us lore read-alouds. I've mentioned as well to Lobato about, I guess this is one thing I forgot to mention before, the Awful Hospital read-alouds. The Awful Hospital read-alouds will also be edited down and moved. At least we are both thinking so. And because that's mostly the two of us who do those, it seems likely that that's what's going to end up happening. Anyway, Mr. Dark Titan, I hope I answered your question sufficiently. The details are going to be in the stream if you decide to rewatch it. You can also go to my community post where I explain the basics of the situation. Sorry that you kind of got blindsided by that, but thank you for joining the stream. Appreciated. Anyway, if anyone has any more questions, feel free to let me know. I'm thinking of wrapping the stream up in, like, about a few minutes when we hit the hour mark officially. Yeah, no problem, no problem. A little bit raw that I didn't actually get to play any Hypixel, but it is what it is. My computer's just fucking bad. Oh, well. Yeah, hopefully I'll get a new one at some point, or this one will get better. Who knows? Or I'll figure out the stream settings I need to make it not shit. But yeah, if anyone has any further questions, please ask within the next 2 minutes. I guess you can also comment. I mean, I'm not going to make any new videos on this channel, but I will absolutely respond to comments. That's fine. I don't want to completely, like, abandon using the channel at all. Like, still interacting in comments is fine. It's just I'm not going to be making any more like videos here. That's all, and no streams, and also no posts. Well, maybe community posts. I could see myself doing those in the future, just as like a little, honorary thing. Just like nothing that actually does anything for analytics. That's all. If you're wondering why, like, the chair and I in general seem to be bouncing so much, that's just autism. It's a stimming thing. And I also happen to have, like, a slightly rocking chair that goes a little bit back and forth. Yeah, I don't have much to add. I don't. Just remember, the channel's content is all going to stay up, except for I'm going to unlist the podcast episodes, as I said, but those will still be accessible by description. And I may do a community post as well on this channel, linking to all of them too, if you want like an alternative way of getting there. I just don't really want like the search results for those episodes to like show like the cruder version next to the refined version, that's all. It also just kind of feels like, I don't really want there to be like public duplicates, or, I mean, they're not duplicates because one of them is going to be edited down slightly and improved with like music and stuff, but still, like, I don't really want to do like anything that borders on double posting, because I gave like Enchanted Mob Examination a lot of shit for when they did that. Back when that like drama was still going on, like 4 years ago now, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, besides the whole podcast thing, basically every video I've ever made, besides the ones I've already decided to take down for one reason or another, all of those videos are going to stay. So everyone's going to be able to come back and watch them as many times as they want. As long as I am in control of this channel, like, as long as, like, it hasn't been hacked, those videos are staying up. And before I end, unless anyone does have more questions, which feel free to ask in the time that's left. And if you don't think of anything now, but think of anything later, just ask in the comments. Before we go, I just want to say thanks to everyone who's been around. If you just started watching yesterday, I thank you. If you were watching all the way from 2017, I thank you. Regardless of how long you've been here, you have supported me in my journey on this site, and I'm grateful for that. I am. So yeah, thanks. And for those of you who want to follow me, thanks too. You don't have to, but I really do appreciate it. It's great to have people. It's great to have a community like this, even if it's niche, because I feel like I do generally find you guys to be like pleasant people, at least from my like brief impressions. I mean, we're not friends, obviously, but still, it's better to have like a friendly community than a non-friendly one, or like a big one that sucks. How was your day? I mean, that is a question. It's not relevant to my plans, but it is indeed a question, and I would say I had a pretty good day. I read a bit of One Piece on a walk today around my neighborhood. It was fire. The end of Skypiea arc, if you're curious. And my aunt as well came over, so that was nice. How was your day, if I may ask? We're kind of in like the wee minutes of this stream, so at this point, no. Why not just end it off with small talk? Yeah, while I'm waiting for you to answer that question, once again, thanks everyone for being here. I really do mean that. Like I said, like, not to get like parasocial, because we're not friends, but it is just nice to have like pleasant people in my community, that's all. Just do appreciate that. So, who is still watching? 5 concurrent viewers. Okay. I don't know who's new who wasn't here like a couple like minutes ago, but I cannot stay that much longer. I do have to wrap this up because I do have somewhere else I need to be. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna stay here for like a couple more minutes, and then I will close out. So if anyone wants to ask, like, one more question or whatnot. Oh, we're down to 4 concurrent viewers. I've fallen off. It's the end for me. It's the end for me. Sad time. Clearly, I can never recover from this. I've changed my mind, actually. All my plans are gone. I'm just gonna leave YouTube forever. I'm done. I can't handle dropping from 5 to 4. It's the indignity of it. It's unthinkable. /J. Do you know Technoblade? I know of Technoblade. I never met him, unfortunately. I mean, if you've been around for a while, you know that I know about Technoblade. All my YouTube channel descriptions are Technoblade Never Dies for a reason, because I looked up to him, like, significantly. Probably one of my biggest role models in my life. But no, if your question is, did I ever meet Technoblade or know him in person? The answer to that is sadly no. If I had a time machine, I would absolutely change that. But no. Anyway, I am glad that this stream has worked. I'm glad that the camera's not bad, and I do like the way my hair looks on camera now. It never used to look like this because I was using a different shampoo like ages ago. Whatever. That's kind of how you know I'm running out of things to talk about. I've said my course on what's going on, and I've said my thank yous. I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad to have lasted as long as I did. A lot of people probably would have quit YouTube by now if their channel had gone the way mine has. And I've even thought about it myself, but I have no intention of it. I do really like making videos here, so I'm going to keep it up. And I can't wait to see you guys. If you follow me, I can't wait to see you guys, with like all the stuff I'm doing in the future. Thank you very much for being on the stream and for being here in general. And with that being said, because I do really need to wrap this up, I will be taking my leave. So, see you guys in my next... Okay, I just restarted the stream because it occurred to me. It occurs to me that it usually, if I click off right as I'm like done saying a sentence, it generally does not actually work like that. It usually cuts off early, so I kind of have to like linger for a bit before I actually end it. Rugion Blastadas just said, "Don't quit, please." I will not do that. Don't worry. At least not now. I don't plan on doing it anytime soon. Anyway, as I said, I will see you in the next chapter of my YouTube journey. Or we could call it an arc. Whatever you guys want. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Now I just gotta linger. I just gotta go through this little process so that I can make sure it actually ends at a reasonable time. Let's just do a quick hand gesture. Let's do a little goodbye wave. I already took a picture of myself yesterday doing that. So it just fits the theme. Anyway, see ya. Yeah, you have a nice day too, Mr. Dark Titan.